name's Aaron Ciotti. I got a mouthful of spaghetti. Okay. Now I'm fine. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday, my friends. I got stuck in traffic on the way back from West Coast Swing with Maggie. And so we're starting a little bit late, but I appreciate your patience. Well, we're off to a good start, if nothing else. Tonight is round 3 of the ongoing 2S Walksnail Freestyle Tiny Whoop build. 75mm motor to motor. I'll be honest, I'm like checked out at this point. I'm so frustrated with everything that's gone wrong with it so far that like I'm over it. But I know that you guys want to see it, so I'm going to just keep pushing forward with it, and we'll get there. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully I don't break off any more pads tonight. Hopefully the wires are long enough to get to the other pads, and hopefully once I have the wires soldered up to the other pads, they don't get in the way of the plug that's going to be right above them that I need to plug in to USB for to pull everything off the DVR. So yeah, a lot of hopefullys, but we'll see. We will see. I'm also very tired. I didn't get shit for sleep last night. And I actually threw up this morning. Before I went to bed, I had a whole bunch of salsa and chips. Don't do that. I didn't like throw it up, but like I got woken up and I just bleh. Weird day, man. Cloudhopper was first in the chat. Hockey Rounds is next. Curtis Hayes, Doubles FPV. Andrew Taylor, Not Applicable, Slow Cal. Jacob Wolkening. BLD, Tongue Out FPV. Frank Nicholas, Mick Mucus, 1337 Plans. Douglas Otwell, Cloudhopper. Andrew Taylor, Matthew Arose. Jacob Wolkening. Bob Bruce, Kilo Zebra. What's up, friends? Thanks for coming. If you want to talk to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you do that, it'll light up an orange. You can do that with each other. If you want to get somebody's attention, type their name, spell it right, put the spaces in the right places, and for that person, their name will turn up and will show up in yellow, in orange. Yellow? Cloudhopper tagged me and said, got my Jungle Gym Basher down to 22.5 grams. Check your email for a fast and easy lightweight antenna mod. I will take a look. Off Access putting the CiottiFPV.com link into the chat. Thank you very much, brother. Hold on. I didn't even have a chance to close Photoshop out. That would probably explain why shit was a little stuttery in the intro there. I attempted to breathe in water 5 minutes ago. And so yeah, I'm all messed up. This is also a Q&A live stream, as they all are. Ask any questions that you have in the chat. Make sure you tag me. If you don't tag me, I won't see it. If you see somebody else asking a good question that warrants a discussion, or if it's obvious that like somebody else is asking the question specifically for me, but they've forgotten to tag me, copy it, paste it, tag me, and give that person credit. And say like, yo, you got a tag at CiottiFPV. And then that person will know, and we'll talk about it. As a reminder, I know I've mentioned this a couple of times. Our family is going on vacation from this Sunday to next Sunday. So there's going to be no... So Friday is it. We're going to stream Friday. And then you're not going to see me until the following Monday night. So yeah, this Saturday, I'm going to miss this Saturday. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss this Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then another Sunday. But then that following Monday, I will be back. That might be the beginning of the month. It is. It is. So June, July 1st. I'll be back on July 1st, my friends. June 21st, this Friday, we're still streaming. And then the next stream will be July 1st. And that'll be a giveaway stream. So that'll be fun. Cool. Join the Patreon if you want to get in on that giveaway stream. The $5 a month tier will enter you to win Tiny Whoop and Toothpick parts. The $10 a month stream will enter you to win 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewoop parts. The $20 a month tier will enter you to win 5-inch parts. If you've got an extra $1 a day and you want to help me keep doing this full time, there's a $30 a month tier that'll enter you in to win all 3 of those. Those folks are the ones that win a lot more often. Go figure. They're entered 3 times as much, 3 times as often. When you win, it's anywhere from $50 to $100 worth of stuff. So it'll cover a couple of months at the least worth of your Patreon. Everybody wins! Thanks for supporting me, friends. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up. Striker says, yo. Brian Anderson says, go ahead, poke at it. Cheers, man. What am I poking at? I don't know what I'm poking at. Walter says, I want to see you win. Be completely convinced that you can. Win. What are we winning? Win at the contest of me versus the 2S Whoop? If so, we're going to win. It's just a question of when. Rocket Tech says, why is that always the way? We never throwing up after eating like Jello or popsicles, always spicy, acidic fire. Yeah, it's bad. Don't get old. If you're not already, don't get old, friends. Your stomach just shits the bed. Sometimes literally. Not yet. That's when you get really old. Jacob says, is 1202 and a half, 11,000 kV motors a good play for motor upgrade on Mobula 803? Sounds like a downgrade. Oh, no. 1202 and a half. It's either a lateral step or it could be a tiny little bit bigger. I'm dropping a link in chat to a stator size calculator. So if we add new, let's add 1202.5, and there it tells us the volume. And then we're going to add another new for 1103. And so, yeah, there's pretty much no difference between the two of them. The 1202 does have more of a... I wonder what they mean by surface. Do they mean surface as in the outside surface, I wonder? That would be very smart. But regardless, it's going to be... Hold on. Hey, here we go. So surface as in top and sides. I wish they had a third thing for the surface of the outside. The surface of the outside of the stator is really what does all the work. This surface is the top and the outside, and maybe even the bottom. I'm not sure. But, yeah. I haven't actually read through this. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So yeah, that's going to be pretty much a lateral step. Although the 1202.5 will stay cooler because it is a wider, less tall motor. So yeah, the 1202.5 will stay cooler. The 1103 might actually make more power, though, because the stator height makes more power than the stator width. Extra stator height makes more power than extra stator width. So, yeah, you might actually take a step down in power, but a step up in consistency. Because motors that stay cool, every single time you dig into the throttle, you have the exact same amount of power. So yeah, if you're looking for more power, I would not bother. You want to look for like a 1203 or a 1204. That's how you're going to make more power versus an 1103. Also, different manufacturers use different strength magnets, different thickness magnets, different air gaps. So I mean, technically, you could every single different, like, just because the motor is a certain size, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to make the amount of extra power that you think it is. It might make less, it might make more. So yeah, there's a lot more to it than just the stator size. And we have very little to no test data on these motors, so it's kind of just, yeah, you're kind of playing rock, paper, scissors every single time, unfortunately. BLD says, have a great time with the family. We'll be here. And I'm caught up. Holy crap. Look at that. All right, friends. Let's dive into this goddamn 2S build so that we can make sure that it gets done tonight, since I'm caught up on the chat. I'm sure I lost loads of people from showing up late. All right, away we go. Let's get some of this stuff out of the way. Why do I have these 40,000 kV motors sitting here? What are these for? These are sitting here for a reason. I don't remember what that reason is. Oh, hey, 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 hey. The VCI motors are now in a V3 frame, and it works. This is actually what we're gonna do. The last live stream, I wasn't really able to like properly evaluate these motors because they were in the Meteor 65 airframe, which does not jive with the Happy Model 2G4 AIO. It's an incompatibility between those two things. It's because of the camera plug. So yeah, the Mobula 65 airframe is not necessarily so wobbly that it causes all the issues that we were seeing. My guess is, so this is the Mobula 6 2024 frame. This frame weighs, I think, exactly what the Meteor 65 airframe weighs. This frame is more wobbly than the slightly heavier Cockroach 65 V3 frame. When you build these two frames, they end up weighing exactly the same because the screws that you need to build the Meteor 65 Air and the Mobula 6 2024 frame are longer. The motor base pad is much thicker. So yeah, that's something that has become obvious, is that by Newbie Drone making their motor pads thinner and saving us weight on the motor screws, they've been able to use more plastic in the frame itself, and this frame isolates the AIO from the vibrations better than the Meteor 65 Air and the Mobula 6 2024. So yeah, that's become pretty obvious lately, which is amazing. So yeah, let's fly 2 batteries through this because we can now, and it actually works. And we'll talk a little bit about the VCI 0702 29,000 kV motors. We can get like an actual runtime and an actual look at how they fly. I think I also got the Throttle Expo dialed in, and yeah, let's get it going. All right, VCI 0702s. Maybe. Come on, ELRS, you can do it. Am I not Stevie Wondering, I'm not Stevie Wondering. I don't have all the gates set up. So, as you can see, and here, when I come off the throttle, the motors actually spin down. Okay, this is going strange. And then if you look here, I've actually got my PID tune cranked up, and I'm actually going to crank it up a little bit more. Cool. Woo! I just nipped it. So, you see, notice... okay, this PID tune is actually ever so slightly too much. We went just barely over the limit. So let's bring it right back down to where it was, because it was actually kind of fine. If you see my elevation bouncing up... Okay. That is just mainly because these motors put power down a little bit differently than the Happy Model motors. And I'm just completely used to the Happy Model motors. And so if you see a lot of elevation bouncing, that's kind of what's going on with that. That's not a problem with these motors per se. It's just I'm not used to them. Oh, shit. They make decent power. This is an 18-gram all-up weight rig. Oh, for God's sakes. They make pretty much exactly the amount of power that I would expect from 0702 29,000s. Big hit of prop wash there. It's one of the reasons that I like higher kV motors, is they really help with the tune, because they make that little bit of extra power. Oh god, I'm gonna have to go get it, aren't I? Nope, we're good. Oh, I did knock one of those down. Oh, for God's sakes. Did knock one of those down though. I knew that was gonna happen. I have these two really cool old school tiny whoop gates here that are really lightweight. I just got to figure out where to put them. I want to use them up here somewhere. I just got to figure out where to put them. They got to be removable. I got very lucky there and crashed on the stairs. Matty flips are so easy once you realize that it's just a reversed backflip. Shit! No. 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 I don't even know where it is. Hold on, I'm going to turn the beeper on. I think it's stuck in the couch. It's a cacophony of noises! Alright. That's going to kind of screw up our runtime. But, okay. Me flying like a complete buffoon will do. We'll screw up our runtime anyway. These motors feel totally fine. You would need to get used to them. Like if you're gonna have rigs that are on Happy Model motors, I wouldn't necessarily recommend mixing these in, and having like one rig on Happy Model motors and one rig on these. because there is a definite difference in the way that the power is delivered on the throttle. So, like, if you're gonna have a whole fleet, I don't really know. These motors are on bearings, but they really don't seem to be all that efficient. You just saw that runtime was 3 minutes and 11. I mean, that's not bad runtime, but like, it's also not good. With the Happy Model motors, we get significantly more runtime. So yeah, nothing wrong with these motors, but they're not like. I'm trying to find something that they do really well. You know what I mean? So it's like, if this is you, these are the perfect motors for you. My guess is going to be that these are potentially these are not way more, but these are potentially more durable than Happy Model motors. I don't know that for a fact. I mean, in order for me to figure that out, I need to be flying up here. So we'll do that. I'm just like trying to create crashes at this point. Oh, there we go. What about a big throw here? Nope, that was weird. I don't think the motor's spun down on that one. I am seeing like a little bit of jello, so there might be a little bit of... I might have already bent the motors or the propellers up. I doubt that I bent the motors. I probably bent the propellers. Yeah, it's not throwing like I want it to. That was it. There it was. Hey. Oh! Oh, that was a big hit. That was weird. That rotated way more than I thought it would. Still trying to figure out like a good way to get into that cube gate there. That was another big hit. Oh god. Don't fall back into the blankets. Thank you. No, no, no. Be cool. Don't. Oh my god. Please, no. Yes. No, no, no. Jesus Christ. Hey, this battery's pretty much done. This is a fairly new battery, too. Terrible runtime on this battery. 2 minutes. We got a little bit more time left on it, though. Let's see if maybe it just hangs in. And I mean, that was a lot of full throttle shenanigans upstairs, in fairness. Yeah, something's ain't happy. I can it does not sound clean. Let's see what happens. It's probably a bent prop. You can see that jello in there too, right? Let's take a look. What do we have? A bent prop or a bent motor shaft? Motor 1. Motor 1's shaking pretty good. Motor 2 is shaking pretty good. Motor 4 is clean. Motor 3 is shaking pretty good, too. Personally, I think it's the bearings. I don't think bearings are the right choice for these little tiny motors. But it's really hard to kind of isolate that. So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. The props don't look banged up. Let's do this. I'm gonna pull the props off and put my fingernail next to the motor shaft to see if we've bent any of the motor shafts up. Motors 3 and 4 were relatively clean, so I'm gonna pull motors 1 and 2. Also, there's a big clump of hair in motor 2, so that might have had something to do with it. So let's really quickly give these motors a little health check. So we're going to pull the propeller off using our clone popper from Tiny Whoop. Or are we? Get in there. There we go. All right. That motor, and let's test motor 1 as well. So this is the process for checking the health of your motors on any quad. Take the propeller off, spin the motor up gently, and then sometimes you can actually see the motor shaft wobbling back and forth. But you should at least be able to feel it, right? So pull the props, battery back in, and I'm just gonna do this with turtle mode. You can hook this up to beta flight and do it in the motors tab, but turtle mode works just as well. So flip into turtle mode, arm it, there we go. And so now with the quad on the desk, I'm gonna put my finger, this is the motor shaft, I'm gonna put my finger now here, and if it's bent, it'll push, it'll like, yeah, vibrate against my finger now. Nope, perfectly straight. That's motor 1. Let's check motor 2. Motor 2 is not as clean. It's not really all that bent yet, but it's just not. Yeah, motor 1 is absolutely brand new. Motor 2 is starting to take some abuse. But, I mean, we've only flown a couple of batteries, and so it's not surprising that it's only the tiniest little bit bent. So, yeah, I mean, we had a couple hard hits, but nothing too crazy. It's kind of too early to tell right now, but these propellers look fine. The propeller's sitting on the desk, like the blades, that one blade is a little bit higher. Yeah, so these propellers are starting to get banged up, but I'm going to put them right back on. They're not so bad that there's an issue. I only had those 2 batteries charged, so I don't have any extra batteries to run on these, but when I get back, we will spend some more time abusing this thing and back-to-backing it with the Happy Model motors to try to figure out to try to dial in a little bit more on what that difference is. But yeah, for the moment, the VCI 0702 29,000s are very similar to the other 29,000 kV motors like the Beta FPV 0702s and or the Happy Models. My guess is they're going to make a little bit less power than the Happy Model 29,000s. What I know for a fact is that they've got about the same runtime. They've got less runtime than Happy Model motors, even that are higher kV, which is something that I also saw with the Beta FPV 0702s. These VCI motors remind me a lot of the Beta FPV 0702s. Bearings a little bit taller. It actually wouldn't surprise me if these were made by Beta FPV or made in the same place that makes the Beta FPV motors. I have no info whatsoever to back that up, so this is just me theory crafting or whatever. But yeah, they seem very, very, very similar to the Beta FPV 0702 29,000 kV bearing motors. I think Beta FPV makes them, right? They make bearing 0702 29,000s, right? So yeah, these might be made in the same place. They really remind me of them. Take that for what it's worth. They could, maybe that's totally wrong. Maybe they're made in a completely different spot, but they walk like a duck and quack like a duck. Is that a thing? No, they walk like a duck and they talk like a duck. Isn't that what it is? I don't know, man. You do you. CMYK is in the house. He says, "What's up, gangly gang?" Hockey Round says, "Is there a weight difference between straight BT 2.0 and the 90-degree BT 2.0? Yeah, the 90-degree is ever so slightly heavier, but this chunk here, you get actual grip on it, so it's well worth the extra like fraction of a gram. I think it's like 0.05 of a gram. It's inconsequential, These 180 degree BT 2.0s are the way. You get a good grip on them. You can actually unplug your battery before it over discharges. It's just, yeah, they're what you want. They're worth the extra 0.05 or 0.1 of a gram, whatever the hell it is. Do it. You're going to love them. I'll put this right here. Oh, God. It's falling. McBuka says, no ducts in view. Is it the frame, bat wing, or high up tilt? Yeah, I guess there's a little bit more up tilt. I think there was duct in view, but it's black. It's a black frame, so you just couldn't see him. Yeah, there might be a little bit of extra up tilt on there. Maybe that's why I wasn't super comfortable at first. But yeah, no, this is what we're flying. Regular old Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop formula, but with the VCI motors instead of Happy Model. We got that. Bob Bruce says, all the way at the peak of the roof for your ceiling loops. Yeah, it's hard to do that. If I get to the actual peak, I slam into the other part here because the quad comes up and I kind of let it stall so that I can throw it up like that, and then you have to kind of round that off, otherwise it just goes banging in there. I would love to get it like absolutely up to the peak. Walter says, I'm gonna move out of Holland, sell my house. I want to buy in Thailand next to a holy waterfall, not in tourist center, halfway Chiang Mai, but to start an FPV center over there. Would it? Oh my god, that'd be insane. I would definitely look up their laws. Some countries have very strict laws against drones, but that'd be insane, man. Chronic Nugget says, I posted in the Discord the response CiottiFPV gave me when I asked them about frame weight after your mini rant. I think you get a kick out of the response. Where in the Discord? I think this is it. I think I might have found it. Thank you for your feedback. However, let us explain why we don't list the frame rate. Wow, they specifically don't list the frame weight on purpose. Here's the scoop. The action cam mount screws straight into the nylon cage, ditching the need for the action cam mount's base. That's a big weight saver right there. When it comes to online frame weight comparisons, there's often a lack of consistency. What's included in the weight measurements, factors like lipo pads, TPU inserts, straps, stack screws can vary widely between different setups. Some drones have short stack screws, some have big stack screws. No, weigh it with the stack screws that you provide with it. Like, come on. Some have two straps, some come without straps. Unfortunately, comparing weight is not that easy. In an ideal world, you can only compare a fully built drone to another with all the same components. Look, sorry, but I'm not buying it. We didn't put the weight because we thought it might throw people for a loop, but now you're in on the secret. We apologize for any confusion. No, I don't buy it. Look, everybody puts the frame weight. Put the frame weight. If you're so concerned about all that, put the lightest possible frame weight, and then it is what it is. So 145.9 grams, and that looks like it's fully built. That's the frame rate. This is the frame weight. This is the frame weight right here. It's built. It's built with the stuff that you provide with it. That's it. The end. This isn't difficult. It's super, super, super straightforward. The stuff that's in the bag that you give people, that's what the frame weight is. Nobody has... I mean, let's look at any frame anywhere. Nobody weighs it with... I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to go on another rant, but this is... Like, I get what they're trying to say here, but that doesn't mean that it makes sense. You can't just not, like, no. Look, you can't just not tell somebody what engine a car has because the driver, you don't know how much the driver is going to weigh, right? Like, sorry, you know, like, it's, no, you don't, like, frame weight is the frame with the hardware. Built. Done. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's super straightforward. If we go to Umagrad's website, Grinderino, Freestyle Flame, this is it. This is what the frame weight's going to be. This. The frame, all the hardware. Done. That's it. Nice and simple. Carbon fiber and screws. That's it. That's what everybody uses for the frame weight. 65 grams. Dunzo. Good to go. All set. No problem. This is it. This is the frame weight. Carbon fiber, screws, standoffs. There's no battery pad. Nobody expects the battery pad weight to be in there. No, quite frankly, nobody is going to weigh their frame with the battery pad because that's going to make it heavier. Nobody wants the frames to be heavier. Everybody wants them to be lighter. Look, frame weight plus hardware. Done. 110 grams. That's the frame weight. Carbon fiber, hardware. Nice and simple. No use overcomplicating this. Nobody's going to provide a frame weight with... And yeah, if somebody provides a frame weight with battery straps, with pads, that's on them. They're only doing themselves a disservice. So, yeah. Thank you for sending that message to them. That's very cool of you. But yeah, I mean, look, they figured it out. They absolutely figured it out because that's it. Perfect. Carbon fiber, whatever this nonsense that they got going on up front is, hardware. Nice and simple. 145.9. It's a heavy frame. Motor protection doesn't look that great. Arms are too thick. And that front camera cage thing, maybe it's great. I've never seen anybody do a front camera cage like that not made of carbon fiber or metal and have it survive. Maybe they're the first ones to do it. That would be cool. But I would be super sketched out by, it looks like it's nylon. I would be very sketched out by that. But maybe they designed it in a way that it's bulletproof. Nylon can be very strong, that's for sure. And the properties of nylon are kind of interesting, right? It's going to have a little bit of a little bit of give rather, and it's going to flex a little bit. And so that could be really good. I don't know. You know, we would need somebody to buy it, fly the hell out of it, crash it a couple of 100 times to see if it holds up. And yeah, with new stuff, that's practically impossible. So that's tough. Yeah, I don't know. I think these manufacturers need to do a better job of getting these things into the hands of, getting the prototypes into the hands of pilots that crash a lot, and then publicizing the damage from the crashes and getting encouraging the test pilots to talk about the damage that gets caused. That kind of similar to what Bob did with me, right? Like, he sent me the glide really early on, and as I crashed it more and more, I would post pictures of it. He would never ever be like, yo, can you take that picture down or anything like that? And then he took all the feedback and made improvements. And as improvements were made, he talked about them on his Facebook group, and he would show the X plate being beefed up, all the different stuff that we kind of did. And he would even say, like, I made this change specifically because of Ciotti. That's what we need, man. Like, that's because otherwise, you put your frame specs up, and every single person is going to say the strongest possible camera cage ever, right? And like, since we've seen that 40 times in a row, it's worthless to put that. We see right through it. We don't, and so we're left like in the dark, and it's just like, hey, here's a new frame. They did a nylon front. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. The marketing nonsense says that it's the greatest thing in the world, just like every single other frame that we've ever seen. And so, we're left over here like, I don't know. Is it worth $100 to try this out? That's got, and in my opinion, a lot of times it's not. Like, you know, at $100, I think it's $100. There are a lot of other frames that are out there that are known quantities. And if I'm going to spend $100 on a frame, it's not going to be some unicorn dust new thing that could be really bad, because the majority of the time in FPV, when somebody goes against the norm and tries some wacky new thing with frame design, it's not good. Right? There's a reason why everybody does it the way that they do it. It's because it works, and it's been developed over lots and lots and lots of time. I love the idea of innovation. I love the idea of people trying to do it differently, but for $100, that's a hell of a gamble. Maybe that's just me being a cheapskate, but yeah, that's tough. The whole thing, it's really hard for the. I don't have all the answers, but I think the only way, since we all see right through the, you know, revolutionary frame design, camera cage, whatever, arm design, locking piece, we see right through all of that, right? All of the marketing jargon is just totally worthless by now. Everybody understands that it's just absolute nonsense. You got to try something else, right? It doesn't work to just say, hey, this is the best thing ever. Like, who are you? We don't know who you are. There has to be a different way of doing that. And I think that pictures of crash damage and pilots that are posting footage of them crashing, right, and of the crashes, that's how we figure that out, right? If they had a couple of edits up from whoever their pilots are that are prototype testing them, if they are, I'm assuming that they are, with some crash reels, right, that would be super helpful, and with pictures of some of the damage, right? I mean, you can even lie about it. You can even just do a crash reel with 50 crashes and just show one picture of crash damage and be like, in all these crashes, this is all that happened. That, even though it's fake, is better than nothing, right? So yeah, but hey, it's tough. It's tough to make a product. That's why I don't do it. I just sit on the sidelines and hurl insults. Hopefully they're somewhat constructive insults, though. Man, I got absolutely chewed by mosquitoes working on the yard again yesterday. I also feel like I got hit by a car. Walter says, what's your favorite brand motors? T-Motor. I've had the best luck with them. Although RC and Power also makes phenomenal motors. VCI seems to be making some great motors as well. I've heard great things about them. I feel like most manufacturers, AMAX, I'm really happy with those AMAX 2305.5s. I haven't really crashed them super hard yet, but so far they seem really good. I feel like most manufacturers have the capability of making really good motors. It's just whether or not, in a lot of cases, I think it's whether or not they listen to us, rather than just doing stuff that they think is going to sell. Like, make motors that we want. Don't make motors that will sell well. Tough to tell a company that's in business to make money to do something like that. But, you know, if the motors that we want are the motors that we're going to buy, right? I think a lot of the motor manufacturers just don't listen to the majority of the population, or any of the population here in FPV land. Jacob says, can you put motor plugs on regular motor leads to install onto a Mobula 8 AIO? Yeah, for sure. I had way back when I was testing newbie drone boards, which have the smaller JST 1.0 or 1.2, I forget what it is, motor plugs. I took a set of I found the bigger plugs, but with wires, and then I direct soldered the wires, and then so there were wires and then the plug, and then I could run regular plugs. I think that's what you're talking about doing, and yeah, it works totally fine. all of the benefits of plugs with none of the benefits of direct soldering. Because you're adding the plug, which some people swear up and down adds a ton of resistance. I don't buy it though. Curtis Hayes says, what would cause no analog OSD? OSD slider is on, analog is compiled in the Betaflight build. When I view on box goggles, I see Foxeer in the bottom left, but the same signal on the HD0 goggles has no text. My guess is going to be it's a... I almost said HTML. It's not it. My guess is going to be that it's an NTSC cam, and in your OSD menu you have PAL selected, or vice versa. So either use automatic, or... I also got bit by a mosquito on my fucking forehead, and then I scratched it, and it bled, and now it's a scab. So yeah, that's probably it. That's my guess. Although what's weird is HD0 goggles have no text. Foxeer in the bottom left, what that sounds like to me is that your camera still has its OSD turned on. And what I'm going to guess is... Hold on, I gotta look it up. PAL versus NTSC. I always forget. PAL is... Hold on. NTSC is 30 frames a second, 720 by 480. PAL is 720 by 576. So... I bet you what's going on is the camera is PAL. You've got your OSD in Betaflight set to NTSC. And then the box goggles are correctly displaying the extra 576 lines of vertical resolution. But your HD0 goggles are forcing it into the NTSC 720 by 480. And that's what's cutting off the bottom there. So that's my guess. My guess is that it's a PAL camera, and so you need to get your OSD and Betaflight set to PAL. But it sounds like the HD0 goggles are going to cut the bottom off. So actually what you would want to do is buy an NTSC camera, because then you'll get the higher frame rate, 30 frames per second versus 25 on PAL. And the HD0 goggles, it sounds like we'll display that properly. That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting that the HD0 goggles might be doing that. I'm taking a guess, but that's certainly what it sounds like. Walter says, if you talk to manufacturers, you can talk about titanium access. They're nice to people and want to improve. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Curtis Hayes says, I watched Dreamman's video when it came out. I take everything he says with a pound of reality. He's like drone camps when it comes to reviews. I try not to talk shit, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to say anything. I am Ian Bennett says, good evening, brother. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing good too, my friend. Walter says, it's the way the message is brought. What message is that? I am Ian Bennett with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, some beans for your jeans. Sorry, I can't give more, but thanks for everything. Don't ever apologize, friends. Don't ever, ever, ever apologize. You guys hanging out helps. Using the affiliate links, it helps. It all helps. Everything you guys do helps, and there's no, right amount. If you guys do anything at all, it's amazing. So never, 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 never apologize for not being able to do more, or give more, or whatever. It's all good. You guys hanging out, being a part of this community is a massive help, a massive, massive, massive help. And so yeah, thank you, brother. Very, very cool of you. I appreciate it. Walter says, "Did somebody your head?" I'm gonna go with yes. That fucking teenager. pimply-faced teenager up in here. All right, cool. I'm caught up on chat. We are going to dive into the 2S 75mm Walksnail Freestyle pain-in-the-ass builds that will not stop screwing with me. Where we left off last time was me saying, if you're gonna bend these wires up, make sure that you're pushing down with your other thumbnail before you bend these up so that you don't break one of the pads off. And then there was a click, and the click was the pad breaking off. So, you know, let it be known that I'm not just talking shit. I every so often I actually know what I'm talking about, and sometimes it actually happens right before your very eyes. Cloud Hopper with a $5 super chat for the healthcare fund. Thank you, homie. Where is it? Gear fund 2. 17 goes to 21. Thank you, brother. Nope, that's not right. It goes to 22. That's proper math. Ooh, man, this soldering iron stinks. Why does it stink so bad? Why are you stinking so bad, soldering iron? What's... I don't usually notice the smell of the soldering iron, but I really notice it right now. I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's on the tip of the soldering iron that's stankin'. Strange. Looks okay. Alright. So, first thing I'm going to do is get the pad that ripped off of this wire here. And you guys might be able to see me do that, actually. Let's check this out here. So I'm just gonna put this kind of like this. Doesn't really matter. All right, so let's see. Let's have a look here. So we're working on this right here. This is not going to focus on this. Maybe if I bring it down like that or something. No, it's not going to want to focus. Let's get this out of here. If we get this out of here, maybe I can bring this down like that. And then maybe nothing will be in focus. That'll be cool. Yeah, well, it's not going to focus on the tip, but it looks like it's focusing on this, which is somewhat close. So this is the best chance of this actually working. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm just going to put heat into the tip of this wire. And in theory, I can just like pull the pad off. Yep, there it is. So there's the pad. You see that little bit of brown there? That's the bottom of the... oh, God, this is sketchy to do this. That's the bottom of the pad material there. So that is now gone. So now we just have a tinned wire again. And I'm going to put on the nerd goggles. Hockey Rounds with a $2 super chat. He's felt left out. Thank you, brother. I love that. All right, here we go. So nerd goggles are on, so I can actually see what the hell I'm working on. Come on, get up there. There we go. All right. Yeah. All right. So the end of that wire looks fine. So this wire was on what pad? It was on T1. All right. So down here, I've got T4 and R4. So first thing I'm going to do is tin those two pads that I now have to use, which is very annoying, but whatever. At least they're there. If it didn't have this extra UART, this AIO would go in the garbage. So here we go. Getting one pad tinned. Getting the other pad tinned. There we go. All right, so that's perfect. So now is going to be the hard part. So let's get this sort of oriented the way that we want it to be. And all right, so this is going to hang out like this. And so now this wire You know what's really funny is these wires are actually going to cross over less using these other pads. That's kind of funny. What did I say? It's T, right? All right, yeah. So we're going to go on to T4, and that is the very next pad. So what's super funny about this is that this is going to be the cleanest possible wire run. Unbeknownst to me, these wires are now just going to go completely straight from pad to pad to pad to pad. There's going to be no crossover on these wires. So very strangely, this is kind of working out. But there are going to be other problems that are super annoying that you'll see in a little bit here. I'm going to try to do this on the desk surface because it'll be easier for you all to kind of see it here. So let me just do that. And I'm going to come up here like this. And let's see if I can do this by hand. This is one of the reasons I like this silicone mat, is it's kind of grippy. And so I can just push down a little bit on this board and it'll kind of stay in place. So here we go. We're going up to T4. And we're good to go. And so let's just check it, make sure it looks good. Yep, it does look good. And so same thing as I was saying last time, is that you need to really hold down on this pad when I want to bend the wire up. And I'm going to drive my fingernail into this pad so hard that it hurts. So literally, I'm pushing down on this pad super hard, and then I'm going to bend the wire up. There we go. All right, and there we've got our little bend in the wire. So now I need to take this green wire off this other pad because I can't send, I can't send to one UART and receive from another UART. So just real quick here, pop that off, and now I'm gonna get this board to the point where it's not all fakakta, because I want to get these. I want to make sure these wires aren't weaving in and out of one another. There we go. Okay, so the wires are now all straight, and like I said, it's just going straight from one pad to the next. See that? See, the red is up top, then the black, red, black, blue, green. Nobody has to cross over anybody else, which is pretty cool. That's gonna really help with getting these two boards as close to one another as possible. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna do this by hand as well. Hopefully that camera is gonna focus. All right, so here it is. Try to hang the wire off so that the silicone is just barely off the side of the board. That was pretty ugly. I'm trying to do it in a way that you guys can actually see it, which is really, really difficult. Yeah, let's take this off, and then let's just rework that real quick. And so I need to get this wire kind of coming down on the pad. Boy, it is a lot harder to just work on the desk without the putty. See if I can get this though. There it is. Nice and flat on the pad. No nonsense. Yeah, that's fine. All right, and now we got to put that bend in the wire. So again, I'm going to really push down on this pad in hopes that we don't lift another one, and just bend the wire up. And I'm not even going to bend the wire up that much because I don't want it to get in the way of what I'm about to show you right now, which is this plug right here. This plug I'm going to have to be plugging into to get the footage off the DVR. But it looks like these wires are exactly long enough. I got really, really, really lucky here. So this is going to be totally fine. We dodged a bullet on this one. So yeah, this is good to go. And like I said, see the wire runs now are perfect. Red, black, blue, green, and then it goes down. Red, black, blue, green. So none of these wires have to cross over one another, which is, again, super, super, super lucky. So hey, all's well that ends well, man. It's a nightmare to get here, but hey, we got there. So these are now linked up. I've got the BT 3.0 on here. Now we can start getting this thing into the frame and getting some motors hooked up, and we'll see what else is going to bite me in the ass. So first, okay, we got to deal with grommets. That's going to be just, I don't know, brutal. I mean, but it says, sorry, I was sorry. You're welcome, my dude. Thank you, brother. Chronic Nugget says, do you know of any 85mm frames with the posts on the bottom? I do not. But Newbie Drone has an 82mm, which is the same as 85mm, I believe. No, it's not. Never mind. Have the V1 of the Beta FPV 2S board from the CiottiFPV, and it doesn't fit in anything. Currently glued posts to a Mobula. Yeah, I don't know of any. That's a great question. That's a great question. I do not know the answer, unfortunately. The whole posts on the bottom thing, I've never seen anyone other than Newbie Drone do that. Okay, so here we go. Here is where things get significantly more confusing. So if I put this in the frame here, I want to first take a look at how much grommet I need below the AIO. We're going to put the grommets on the AIO first. And it doesn't actually look like I need any. So I can slam the AIO down pretty far onto the frame. So let's do that. And I'm going to do that with the supplied Beta FPV clear grommets here. So I'm going to put these onto the AIO, and then if I have to put tall grommets on the VTX to space it out enough, I can. But yeah, let's just try this first. Let's. And again, I can. This is going to allow me to slam the AIO down as close to the bottom of the frame as possible. It's going to go down as far as it possibly can. We're trying to reduce the amount of deck height as much as possible on these freestyle Walksnail builds because of how ridiculous the setup has to be with us just using screws to hold the entire stack down, right? Like we don't have, it's just a very flimsy kind of way of, but it does work, and it works shockingly well. I think just because these things are so lightweight, we kind of get away with it. So, all right. Speaking of grommets, I tagged all patrons over on the Discord to check out Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper's very cool little grommet guide for... It's not these style of grommets, it's the bigger grommets for the camera mounting pads on like a Pavo Pico or something like that. So yeah, check that out. I think he uses string or fishing line or something like that. But yeah, I posted that and tagged all patrons, so go check that out. Apache Smoke, of course, is quite famous around here for being one of the two beautiful bastards that has handled all of the timestamps on all of these videos. Quadbod has been doing timestamps going backwards in time, and then Apache Smoke is going forwards in time. So massive, massive, massive thanks to him for doing all that. he basically watches the streams. He's in a different time zone, so he never catches these streams live. So while he's watching them, he just types in the timestamps for the good of all of us. And so, yeah, man, it's stuff like that makes this community that we've kind of created here so fucking cool. Like the fact that everybody is willing to do something is amazing, and it makes this place as awesome as it is. It would not be as awesome if it weren't for every single one of you beautiful bastards doing a little something something here, there, everywhere. And I mean, when I say doing something, like that could just be hanging out, like hanging out in the chat, like I said earlier, absolutely helps. So yeah, thank you for that, my friends. All right, cool. So we've got those grommets on, and so now here's what I was talking about a minute ago. We are going to have to run taller grommets on the VTX, but that's okay. Check this out. This is going to be hard for me to show you, but I'm going to try my best. I'm going to hold these two as close to their actual orientation is going to be as possible, right? So I'm pushing these into each other. I can't mount these like this because they're touching each other. They have to have a little bit of a gap like that. See what I'm saying? But by pushing them into one another, this is going to show us the absolute minimum. And we look at the absolute minimum. Look at the thickness of the inside part of this rubber here where my index fingernail is, right? And then I got these evened up. All right? And then look at the gap. So if I just ran another clear grommet on the VTX, which is on the right side of the screen, it wouldn't be enough. So I need to run some sort of a taller grommet on the VTX side. And so every time I do an order, I get pretty much as many grommets as I possibly can. And so now I've got a million different thickness grommets. I've got happy model ones like this. I've got God only knows what these purple ones are. There's some of these pink guys, right? This is a really, if you're going to get like super nerdy into customizing these things, this is really, really important. Technically, we could use like some kind of like a plastic spacer like this, but then every single time you take it apart, that plastic spacer is going to fall out. You could also use like a little rubber O-ring like this in between, but again, every single time you took it apart, this is going to fall out, so don't do that. These M2 style grommets that are taller on one side than the other are available. So let's see if we can go purple. Let's give this a shot here. We're gonna pull 4 of these purple bastards, and we'll see if they're gonna be thick enough. So same kind of deal. Let's try to spec it out first. So we'll hold these two together as close as we can, and then let's just take a look. Let's just kind of hold this up to see. I think I'm gonna have to put one of them in. Let's just put one of them in here, and we'll see if yeah. Let's do it. I have a feeling that this is going to be just big enough. Does that all make sense to you guys? Am I explaining that in a way that makes any semblance of... Baby ZFPV with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. No comment. Just wants to help the gangliest of ganglies keep on doing this full time. I appreciate it, man. Very cool of you. This is my preferred way of getting these grommets in. Kind of squeeze it and stuff it, squeeze it and stuff it. This Walksnail VTX, it does not have normal M3 holes like everything else. It's got like M2.5 holes, which makes it really difficult to get these in there. So yeah, if you find yourself doing this and you're getting frustrated, it is not just you. They chose to use smaller holes in order to torture us, I'm assuming. But with a little bit of perseverance, you can get the regular tiny whoop grommets in through here, as you're seeing me struggle with right now. Once you get it through there enough, you can kind of pull it through from the other side, but you got to get it like 75% of the way, which we're almost there. We're getting close. And I tend to like flip the tweezers over. Some people use the dental floss trick. I have no luck with it. See, that is now far enough through, but at this point, a lot of times you can just mash it the rest of the way. You just have to be patient. I'm not having any luck though, but look, you can come up on the top and use your fingernail to pull it the rest of the way through. It helps to kind of push on the bottom and then pull on the top. And look, ready? It's about to go. And come on. There you go. There it goes. Come on. There it is. So now we get to see if it's tall enough. So hold these guys up just like we were a second ago. And now the important thing is going to be to get the two boards flat. You don't want to hold it up like this and then have the board, see how the bottom is like pushed up against it and there's like that stupid angle. You got to hold these things flat. And ideally what you want to be able to do is push them together and have a little bit of squishiness. It's kind of tough. This is, oh wow, okay. So this side here tells the tail. And I'm going to have to take this grommet out. This side here, we're getting to see the thickness of that plug. And you can see I have the boards relatively even with one another. And that's just too close. This is not enough clearance. I either need to run these and then switch these clear ones to ones that are taller on the one side, or I should have more of these that are even thicker than this one. So let's get this out and we'll let me first check and make sure I have ones that are in fact thicker on the one side. Hold on a second. Hold on, please. Okay. So I definitely have super tall ones from Happy Model, which are these. But this is typically too tall. Boy, I wish that would focus. Whenever you're ready, Logitech, you giant asshole. So yeah, this is a super tall one from Happy Model. This is probably going to be too tall. There's a slightly less tall one from Happy Model here, but I don't think this is going to be any different than the purple one. Let's put them next to each other and take a look. Nope, that's exactly the same. Let's put one of the super tall ones next to it just as a guide. Oh wow, it's not even, yeah, no, it's way taller. See that? That's like way taller. I need something in between. So let's try these light blue ones, which I believe are from T-Motor. And I'm just looking at the thick part. Yeah, that is a little bit bigger there. It's kind of off the bottom of the screen. Try to roll these up a little bit. There you go. So that blue one is ever so slightly thicker, but it's not enough. I think I might actually go with the super tall one, and then what you can do is just crank the screws down a little bit tighter. And that'll push, because the other option would be to take those clear grommets out. But yeah, no, I have a whole bunch of these super tall ones from Happy Model. Yeah, screw it. Let's do that. So we're going to use those. Let me dig them up here. I got 2 out already. Here's a third. And there's a fourth. Tell you what, man, I'm starting to go through these. I used to have like so many. I was like, man, I'm never going to use all these, but I kept hoarding them, and it has come in handy. Now that I got a couple of these Walksnail builds using them. Is there really not another? There we go. All right, cool. So yeah, we're going to use those in the VTX. And then, like I said, we're just going to crank those screws down a little bit tighter to compress that extra height that we're going to have. Off Axis says, man, if I got a grommet install trick for you, I'll message you the video on Discord. Sounds good? All right, we're caught up. Sleepy CBR, this is this Beta FPV V3 AIO that use it's very easy to find because it doesn't have a USB port. It's got it's got a JST port, and then they give you a little JST to USB. So it's helping me out with getting these stacks really close to one another and getting the batteries up in the battery bay. Some of these 2S batteries are gigantic, and some of these frames are pull the battery up really close to the AIO, so close that you can't really have a USB port there, which is really confusing. Why they would like expect you to find an AIO without a USB port, because like most AIOs have USB ports. But hey, what do we know? We just build them. What do we know? We're just the ones using the products. Teddy, what are you doing over there? Teddy, why do you stink so bad, homie? You smell like shit balls. Actual balls of feces. Feskies. All right, there we go. That's out. Now let's get 3 of these that are stuck to my hand. And 1 more not stuck to my hand installed. Forgot to put this purple thing away. Okay. So this is going to go on like that. So let's get it. I find it easier to go from the right side initially. It's going to be more about if you have any fingernails, which I kind of don't. You can sort of get it started like this sometimes. In this case, though, I'm having trouble. All right, so yeah, I find these tweezers to be just the best. And you squish it flat like that, and then you can kind of get it started. And then you sort of just use your thumb here to kind of hold it and keep pressure on it. And then you can take the tweezers and just squish and push. But you got to have your thumb here to hold this damn thing down. And you're just trying to get it to go a little bit at a time. You're never going to like get it all the way through. This is always something that's going to take a minute or 2 or 5. So just throw out the idea of like being able to do this quickly. Luckily, like you only really have to do this once. So just suck it up and stay calm and just try different things. Everybody does this like slightly different. And there'll be these times where it pops out, and that's okay. Just get right back into it. Just a little bit at a time. Man, can you guys not see that at all? A little bit, a little bit, a little bit. My fingers hurt. Oh, yeah? Well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Teddy, how do you smell so bad? You live inside the house. All right, I might have enough to pull it through from the other side. I do not. Well, I did, and then it just slipped out. So back we go. Let me try to do it with my fingernails. Nope. No such luck. All right, I can't do it with the camera in the way. This camera is just in the worst possible spot. So here we go. Let's try again. This is the top, so these are gonna go in from the Zippodome. Boy, do I wish I'd done this off stream. And like, try holding it different ways. Try using like different fingers. You know, like what works for me might not work for you. You might have big fat sausage fingers. Yeah, try different stuff. You'll figure out a method that works for you with these grommets. It's and maybe you have to use the floss trick. I don't know. Maybe you have to use fishing line. It doesn't matter what you do. Figure out a way to do it. Don't freak out, and you'll be all right. Hey, we're getting there on this one. We're getting there. Let's see if I can pull it through. What I have found is like there's not going to be like a miracle method. Like doing this with dental floss, it's not just going to work the first time. You're going to have to do it 50 times to figure out like the nuances of it. I've done this hundreds of times. I've probably not given the dental floss trick enough of a shot. But I'm usually pretty good. I can usually knock this out pretty quick. These extra tall ones are a bastard, and this VTX is the worst. The holes in this VTX are tiny, but there you go. There's me getting one. Yeah. Curtis Hayes says, I tried changing OSD to PAL and auto, no change. I have screenshots in general nonsense. Maybe OSD chip is bad. Like you said, QA is bad on chips. Yeah, I mean, like, there's kind of nothing else. There's the OSD on-off in configuration, and then there's PAL versus NTSC. That's kind of it, unfortunately. I don't know of any other thing that would prevent OSD from working or not. When did it start? Did it start after you like smacked it into something or what? If so, then yeah, you killed the OSD chip. All right, here we go again. Here we go again. The thing that's really annoying on this VTX is that two of these holes have components like right next to them, and those are so much harder to do this on. And this is one of those. This is one of the one that I just did a minute ago was one of the easier ones to do. This is one of the two difficult ones. So this is gonna be more annoying. Usually I use my thumb to hold the bottom. I'm trying to use my index finger or my middle finger this time just to kind of switch it up. Sort of trying different things. Yeah, this is super annoying. Fuck. Ah! Curtis Hayes says new build. Interesting. Try a different camera. Try that. If it's not too much work. I'm assuming that it's analog, right? Jesus, man, this one's... These extra tall grommets are really hard to hold in place because they're so tall. The regular size grommets you can just sort of push down and they stay perfectly in place. These ones you just kind of can't do that. And so there's not a lot of tension. Like as I push this into the hole, it just kind of pops back out because there's not a lot of tension on it. And that's what tends to make using these extra talls a pain in the ass. But the main pain in the ass is that the holes in this VTX are too goddamn small. I really wish that they'd made these holes a little bit bigger. proper M3 size like everybody else basically would make this just super, super, super easy. We would have been done a couple of minutes ago. But they chose to use these weird M2.5 holes. They might have done that because they're having to squeeze so many chips onto this damn board. Because, man, they have stuff all the way up to the corners on these. See if I can start to pull this through a little bit. Nah, not even close. The other thing you can do is try to use just like a straight up pusher. I've always had better luck using the tweezers, but sometimes this seems to kind of work. Like right now, it's actually working really, really well. This is just a MIP 1.5 millimeter Allen driver. It's actually working pretty well right now. Let's just keep going a little bit at a time. What you don't want to do is use something that's so sharp that you're poking holes in the rubber. That's no good. That will tear, and then you will have direct contact between the hard PCB and something else that's hard, and that's bad. There we go. Got it enough. Pull it through. Or maybe I'll switch back to the tweezers for a second here. Yeah, make sure you use like round tipped tweezers, or else you'll just shred the rubber grommet. Also, don't push super hard. You'll break the outside of the PCB right the hell off. You do not want that. Let's use a smaller Allen-headed pusher here. There we go. There it is. And all set. Come on. There it is. All right, cool. So we've got 2 of these on. Let's check the fitment real fast. And so, oh yeah, nothing but room now. Yeah. Loads of room. So we will definitely have to crank these screws down. These are actually spaced like, I'm not gonna say way too far apart, but way too far apart. But it'll be okay. We will make it work, as Tim Gunn used to say. All right, here we go. Third one. All right. Let's get it started here. And come on now. Jesus Christ. Actually had really good luck with this little M1.3 Allen. Let's see if I can get this going again. Now, you know what? It's I always have to start these with tweezers. I'm like never able to get them started with just a straight up poking implement. But once they get started, sometimes the pokers work really well. Nah, I need a little more through there before I start poking at it. Teddy Spaghetti, how are you, sir? All right, I think that's good. Let's start poking at it. All right, come on. And what I'm trying to do is just like just pull the side of the rubber in and then push it through. Pull, like so, pull, then push. Pull it across and then push it down. I'm not just trying to mash the whole thing through at once. You got to be able to just push a little bit of the rubber at a time. And so, yeah, you're kind of coming at the side and then pulling in and then pushing it down through. just trying to push the whole damn thing through there is never going to work. You got to do it little by little by little. There we go. There we go. Yeah, M1.5, M1.3 hex drivers work pretty well for this. Just, you got to be super careful that you don't stab right through the rubber. And if you do, you can't just like, oh, I didn't see that happen. Like, you got to take it out of there. You do not want one of these grommets to be ripped in here. That will bite you in the ass. Come on! There it is. All right. This last one is the most difficult, I believe, because it's right next to the MIPI plug. Walter says use some dishwasher stuff. Maybe. You never know. Could work. All right. There we go. Get it started. Just trying to figure out how I can put some downward pressure on it. All right, come on. Last one, be the easy one. Be easy. Be cool. Last one. Be cool. Let's try 1.5 first. Wearing the nerd goggles does help for this too, because you can see what the hell's going on. I do not have them on at the moment. But yeah, the nerd goggles definitely help with this. Being able to see what you're doing makes a huge difference. Ooh, I just got a couple really good little pokes in. Yeah, using a pokey thing like this is nice because you can push all the way into the hole. Yeah, I know. I heard it too. The tweezers, you can't push them through the hole in the PDB. Oh, that one went staggeringly quick. Although now it's probably gonna fight me. I didn't get. I got a little too excited there. There we go. There it is. All right. God. Worst part of every tiny whoop build right there. All right, cool. So here we go. And we're going to stack these like this. And now, if you take a look, you've got a giant gap in between the top and the bottom. That's actually too much. That's too big. But like I said, we're going to crank these screws down. M1 2x12s. We'll crank them down, and that'll eat up a bunch of the gap between these two. The biggest problem is here. And so yeah, once we tighten these up, that gap will shrink down. It should be about perfect. I'm cautiously optimistic about that. Okay, so that's going to be in the back. So the next thing I'm going to do is take this ELRS antenna up and out of here, since we're about ready to actually assemble this. And I'm going to run the ELRS antenna up and around. So up and out, like that. And then it's going to turn the corner here, and then we'll tuck it up under the canopy. And that way the ELRS antenna is not in between these two PDBs. Because we're going to be flying this thing outside, so we're going to go farther away than just ripping around in the house. All right, cool. So now we can drop it into the frame, feed our BT 3.0 through, figure out what's front, what's rear, what's left, what's right. Push the AIO down first. And they give us some extra post length on this frame, which is great. And then, Jesus, get out of there. God damn it. All right, and then we're going to take our Walksnail light, VRX, and put this on. to the plastic posts. There's that. There's that. All right, cool. You can see the wires are long enough. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. All right. So now we might as well just go right in and throw the canopy on. So I'm gonna reuse this canopy. I'm gonna take this. No, I'm not. I'll use a fresh one. Oh, I probably have one in the build bag. Let's see. No, I didn't think about canopies at all, even a little bit. It's not like me. Really? Okay. Well. Alright, hold on. I gotta dig through a bag and grab a canopy and a little bracket thing. Hello, Teddy Spaghetti! How are you, my friend? My boy. There he is. Oh, stop it! Oh boy, he's gonna run and get a toy. I don't want you to go get a toy. I don't like that toy. That toy's disgusting. Keep it away from me. Oh god, kill that bug, buddy. That bug is disgusting. Kill that little caterpillar looking thing. Do something useful. Alright, so in this bag, I should have some of the extra little canopy bits. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Hopefully you can. I'm gonna actually take this apart and steal the plastic piece from it, and then I'm gonna use this clear canopy. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it on Teddy Cam for a minute. See if he does anything funny. Ah. He doesn't even like let you play with him. He just instantly gets it and then refuses to do anything with it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Man, I'm tired. Jesus. All right, so what I need is the little plastic backing piece. I'll show you in a second. So let's take these side screws out. Yeah, buddy, kill that. Good. Kill it. Yes, paw at it, and then eat it. Eat it, buddy. Eat it. Destroy. Destroy, Teddy. Destroy. I don't want to deal with it. You deal with it. Get it, buddy. Get it. Smash it up. Smash it up, buddy. Yeah, give it a punch. Punch it. Yes. Harder. Hit it. Get it. Don't let it go over there. Yeah. Pull it back. Buddy. Well, it's gone now. Okay. Earn your keep around here, dog. Jesus. Oh, boy. Now he's digging through the... Whoa! Alright, so we need this back piece. See that plastic back piece on the back of the camera there? That's what we need. This canopy can actually kind of stay out. This is fine. Alright, so to get the backing piece off, we got to remove these screws. Get in there, buddy. Get it. You can do it. Give you something to do. Get in there. All right. So there we go. RunCam Nano 3 is freed up. Put it back into this. Put it back into this bag that says purple corners, because this is one of them with the weird purple corners. Oh, Teddy, what do you want? What do you need? You need me to move this? Nope, it's not there anymore. You've snoozed, and now you lose. You got nothing else. Okay, so these are the 2 screws that are going to go into this backing plate piece thing. So let's get this going. All right. What the hell's going on with this MIPI plug? Is it just unplugged or has it broken off? Hold on. I've never seen this dog sniff so furiously as he is right now. Hold on. I got to, Nah, it just come unplugged. Okay, now we're good. Alright, that is plugged back in. Glad I noticed that. Okay. I think the plug is going to go... I think the plug wants to go downwards, but you can reverse it in the menu, so it doesn't actually matter. But I am going to put it downwards. So, although that doesn't really matter for this current step we're on, because this little plastic piece is omnidirectional or whatever. So plastic piece goes like that, and then these screws go in through the front. And of course, I'm not going to be able to do it because clumsy fingers. All right, so there we go. And just give it like a turn to hold it in place. Grab the other one. Come on now. All right. Give it more than a turn. Crank it all the way in. Screw it. There we go. All right. And then we got the one in the bottom corner. Okay. Screw that one in. Make sure that you get these tightened all the way, my friends. If these are cross-threaded or if they're not tightened all the way in there, they will pop out. So really make sure you got that all the way through. Let's double check this first one. There we go. And now this back piece is needed because this is what the canopy screws into. So I'm going to rob these. The screws are slightly different that go from the canopy to the plastic piece. They are button head screws, whereas the screws that we just used are conical headed, and they're a little bit longer. The conical headed screws are a little bit longer. If you buy a Mobula 6 canopy, they will come with 2 of each of these screws. And it's pretty obvious. Like the button-headed screws, yeah, obviously match up with this canopy. Buddy, I've never heard you sniff like this. It's crazy. You're like returning to your roots as a proper... I wonder what schnauzers do. Are they like mousers? Are they, you know, like dog breeds have like things that they do? All mini schnauzers do is annoy me. That's what their breed is. Okay. Here's the other one. Pre-screw this into the canopy. Curtis Hayes fixed the OSD. Had a stray ground wire touching the yellow video wire on the neighboring flight controller pad. Hell yeah. Great work, dude. Way to not just give up. Professor Biohazard says, any tricks to keep reny or peak screws from backing out? I do. Don't use them. I don't like them. When my biggest complaint about them is that when they break... Oh, shit. I'm going to have to file this canopy. When they break... they're a nightmare to get out of there. So yeah, I really don't recommend you use them. I didn't realize that. Why would they back out? They're made of like an abrasive material. I'm actually really surprised to hear that they're backing out. I would not think that. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't run them. I don't like them. So to run this Walksnail camera on these Mobula 6 canopies, you have to take a little bit of material off the sides here and here. I'm trying to think if I have one that I've already done that with, though. I didn't realize that was leaving marks. Oh, those are carbon fiber marks, aren't they? I bet you I don't. Let me just do it. Hold on. Christ on a cracker. So this is what I'm talking about here. I'm going to hang off the desk and do it. So you're going to just go on the sides here. And you just need to open it up a little bit. Keep the file moving up and down so you don't like just mangle one specific spot. And then, oh God, Teddy, why do you smell like that? What is happening? And then, yeah, I would not recommend doing this with a Dremel. It's going to take off way too much material way too fast. Unless you're like a super Dremel ninja. This is a manual job. I don't know, Jackie. I still jerk off manually. You don't have to take that much off, but you do have to take a chunk of material off for sure. It's the locking ring that's going to hit on this. And I mean, you can just ram it in there without doing this, but it's the camera is not going to sit perfectly straight. It ends up sitting like a little bit sideways. So just suck it up and sit here for a minute and you'll get it. I probably need to take a little bit more material off than that. Again, just try to keep it moving back and forth so you're not accidentally just filing one spot. Try to go like diagonal with it. Know what I mean? There we go. That took off some material for sure. And you do want to take more material off the bottom because you're probably going to run low camera angle. So focus on the bottom part of the slots. And I think that might be just enough. Let's see. And so yeah, then it's going to be all janky, but it'll be fine. And it doesn't look that bad. As long as you keep the file moving diagonally like that, you'll barely be able to tell that it's not fresh. All right, so just getting some of the little stringy fuckers out of there. So you take the camera and you're going to squeeze the canopy front to rear like that because you want these screws to separate a little bit so that you can sneak the camera in there. So pinch the canopy like that to make it wider. Lens goes through. What the hell is that noise? Oh, you're chewing on your ball. Lens goes through. Man, yeah, there's no real way for me to show you guys this, but you'll see it when you're doing it. I'm actually going to back these out a little bit. They're a little bit too far forward. It's making it almost impossible. I don't want to bend the canopy so much that I crease it. All right, so back it out a little bit. That one's already backed out a little bit. And then make sure you get the lens through first. It's so easy to do this with the lens pointed out the bottom, and then you have to redo it. Lens through. Squeeze it. Catch the one screw in the side of the plastic thing. And then you can kind of pull it across. being as gentle as you can with the MIPI cable. Oh, and you know what? I did not remove enough material. That's what's happening. If you're having problems, it's because you didn't remove enough material from the canopy. I got to go in there a bunch more. Wow, it's 12:01 already. Jesus. Focus for Life says, what would cause a quad to bobble in the roll axis on takeoff and adding throttle? Oh man, this canopy is actually broken up here too. God damn it. I might have done that when I was pinching it like an idiot. Denzel the Terrible says, schnauzers are bred to be all around farm dogs and ratters. Nice. Replace the flight controller, jumped to crossfire receiver. Previous quad config flew fine. I'm going to finish this build off stream, I think, because it's almost ready, and there's no way in hell that I have enough in me to get it flying tonight, so I'm just going to bail. But we're good. We got this mounted. I got to screw the motors in, do the beta flight things, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get it flying off stream, and then we'll dive back in. Maybe I'll do one more stream to finish it up. I'm not really sure. I'm so goddamn exhausted right now. Oh God. Close the quad to bobble on the roll axis on takeoff and adding throttle. Replace the flight controller and went to crossfire. So on the old flight controller and on whatever the link was before crossfire, it was fine, is what I'm reading. Focus for Life. I think what that means is that the new flight controller, the gyro, is starting to fail on the roll axis. Unless, like, you've changed the PIDs, or but I'm going to assume not. I'm going to assume you have the same PIDs, the same filters, and the only thing changing was the flight controller. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing about... Well, unless, like... So there is a chance that, like, the previous gyro was a BMI 270 and the new one is an ICM 2668. It's not good that it's only doing it on the roll axis. That is a dead giveaway that the gyro is failing. So yeah, if it really is only doing it on the roll axis and it wasn't doing it at all, and you moved over your PIDs, you moved your filters over, stuff like that, yeah, that gyro is bad on the new flight controller, which happens. And there's not a great way to, like, test that. But it was flying fine, you moved stuff over, and so, yeah, you've already kind of tested it. The nail in the coffin is to put it back on the other flight controller, and the problem will go away. And now you've isolated that, hey, you know, this flight controller is bad. So, yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. All right, friends, thanks for hanging. Sorry for a low-energy kind of stream tonight, but I don't know. My lungs are still jacked, which is super annoying. I got no sleep, and I came in directly from dancing, and yard work just destroyed me yesterday. So I got lots of excuses. I'll see you guys on Friday. Friday I'll be full of piss and vinegar. Be good friends. Love you, bye! I'm not ready. What the hell's going on here? There it is. Be good, friends. Thanks for bearing with me.